Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. We're going to be doing a creator request today. It's where I check out a song from a band who has contacted me and asked for their stuff to be presented on the channel. Today we're going to be looking at a song from a group called Terrestria. It says, first off, my name's Robbie, and I'm the drummer for Terrestria. We all love your content, and I was curious if you'd be interested in doing a reaction video to one of our songs. Think you'd really dig our stuff based on the bands you react to in your videos. So I'm pretty excited. I love doing this. Let's check this out. The song's called Malignant Condition off of the self-titled album Terrestria. Yeah, I thought we were in an odd time signature, but it actually fits cleanly into a 4/4. We'll find out later if it is. We got some really interesting ambient tones here. Yeah, so the beginning of the guitar phrase is on like a 16th off of the downbeat. It's really odd. Even feeling that cymbal, I keep feeling like I need to slow it down just a little bit because of that delayed start. I love how they're moving back and forth between like the ambient and then the hard rock stuff. I love how the piano is still going too. It's an interesting texture to put alongside all this. It's such an interesting moving back and forth between hard groove and really disjointed rhythmic ideas.
The most malignant disease was fiction conditioned.
A lot of guitar tones as well. You got a nice polyrhythm thing going on. I moved into a 3 for this ambient section. I love how these notes are bleeding into each other. It's not really, this note, then that note. It's sort of like they're overlapping and sort of merging and then fading out. Interesting. Very cool. So, I don't know about anybody else. I really dug that. Probably because it feels a lot like Periphery. And I don't want to, just draw parallels and say, this band is just, very reminiscent of that. I want to view them on their own accord, but that's my first reaction. My gut reaction listening to this is, wow, at least to me, there's a lot of Periphery inspiration worn right on the sleeve. It's sort of right out there. So this hits home for me. This is stuff that I can really get into. Um, but there's also some ideas of like Tesseract in here, especially with the way that they play around with rhythms. And there was something about that like super groove mode. I couldn't place it. There was something out another band that I was seeing some inspiration from in that really groovy part there, right before we went to the atmospheric outro, and I can't place a name. But anyways, it's a bunch of stuff that I really enjoy, and they've kind of brought it all together for this song at least. I'm like I said, I don't know what the rest of the album is like. This could be a one-off, and the rest of the album is something totally different. But I'm really, really enjoying this track right here. Um, so yeah, let's dive into this. Some of the cool things that are going on. First of all, rhythms. When we started out, we had that really interesting guitar rhythm, I think it was, and I was really leaning into possibly it being some sort of, oh man, 7/8 idea. I was thinking, maybe a 9/8, and I was having such a hard time finding it, and then my brain, for whatever reason, said, "Hey, what if we count this in four? What if this is in four?" And I found a four groove that lined up with it. It might have been when the next instrument came in, and that second instrument is what told me to think in four. And sure enough, once the drums came in, and we had that cymbal crash on the downbeat, I was like, yeah, yeah, this is in four, but this is like very not wanting to be four, especially with, as I mentioned, that guitar part comes in about a 16th of a note after the downbeat. It is the slightest delay, but it's enough to make me second guess the fact that I have a metronome here. The I think it's the crash cymbal is providing a metronome to this whole part. There's a lot of polyrhythmic ideas going on. There's odd rhythmic concepts, like I said, with the offbeat accented beginning of the guitar phrase. But I have a metronome. There is a guide, and I still, listening to the song, I'm like, maybe that's not the downbeat. And it's the strangest thing. It's a phenomenal deconstruction of what it means to create cohesive rhythms, because that section of the song has a very strong groove in it, despite all of these elements really pushing against that, and trying to disrupt the rhythmic elements in this portion of the track. and yet there's still a really strong groove. There's still, that strong metronome element in the cymbal, and it's just, it is a strange bit of cacophony to me. My body wants to jam out, but my brain's saying, "Hey, maybe this isn't 4/4. Maybe what you're feeling's wrong." And I'm sure that's gonna go away after repeated listens, which there will probably be repeated listens. But it's still an interesting feeling to have. The section seems to simultaneously be in sync with all the instruments and having a strong groove, but also falling apart rapidly in the rhythm section. It is a fantastic little bit of writing there. Um, but I suppose, I mean, nah, we're just gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep moving. The vocals come in, and I was not expecting them. They're very, to me, they're kind of an emo-ish kind of vocal, kind of reminiscent of, I don't know, some emo bands. um, but it doesn't have that rough grit that I tend to associate, or the almost like classically trained perfection that I kind of associate with this type of music. There's either stuff like Tesseract, where you get these really, excellent performers who put a lot of work into, having perfect delivery, or you get stuff on the other end of the field where it's like super gritty, super rough, maybe some lower end stuff, some growls, and having that sort of perfectly imperfect emo singing that's a bit thinner and more forward projected rather than stuff coming from the back. It's an interesting combination. It works so well for me. It blends one of my favorite vocal styles with some really great musical playing that typically doesn't utilize this vocal style. And yeah, the combination works so well for me. I don't know if anybody else is going to feel that way. What was that email? They said, we think you'll really dig our stuff. You guys are not wrong. Robbie, I mean, you had this pegged so well. This was a joy. Um, let's see what's next. Oh, the growls or the screams. I really enjoyed them. I think they complement the song well, and they fit in with kind of what I expect to happen in this genre. Um, this is gent, right? Or gent adjacent? That's gent adjacent. Lots of DJs going on there. The mix is really well done. And I think what's interesting, I don't know if this song was selected specifically because of this, or if, most of the body of work embodies this, but the song is linear. I don't remember hearing anything along the lines of a verse chorus or anything. We had oh, I need to talk about the ambient aspects as well. I jumped right into that first guitar section. Um, we got an ambient intro and outro, and then when we get to the middle, the metal part, I think it was just three sections, one right after each other. Just a very linear style song, nothing cyclical, no returning to ideas. So yeah, that's interesting. I like that. I'm a fan of rhapsodies. I'm a fan of songs that move right through. Um, I do like when theme is employed in there, and we see some elements from the beginning show back up at the end. But I do typically enjoy linear songs over more cyclical ones. So this was interesting. Like I said, I don't know if this one was selected because of that, or if their entire body of work does that. But once again, just exactly what I'm enjoying. Exactly what I look for. Um, yeah, this is not really being much of an analysis. This is just me gushing about the song so far. Um, so the things that do stand out to me a little. Oh, let me talk about the guitar solo too. I thought was really nice. We had a brand new guitar tone for that section. I mentioned that there were quite a few guitar tones across the song that I heard, And I think that's interesting too, really changing up because most bands have, um, they would have their chord tone, their lead tone, and then their solo tone. And I feel like we moved through more than just the three here. And we also really didn't have a lot of chordal work either. So we had like a bunch of different lead tones, really emphasizing or I guess utilizing whatever would work best within the atmosphere of the different sections throughout the song. Um, so that was interesting. The solo I liked. At least for me, I think it could have slowed down a little bit more in some sections. There was a lot of not super shred. They weren't really fast notes, but there was a lot of runs and not a lot of moments to sort of contrast that. I think there was one section where we held on to a note for a beat and a half or so, and it was right there at the end. It was kind of a way to wind the solo down, but yeah. Otherwise, like I said, the solo is really well done. The opening and the outro, I think, are my two big questions. They're the two things that stand out to me the most. I like them in isolation. I don't really know what they do for the song. It's very possible that every song is bookended by ambient ideas, and they are transition concepts to move between the tracks. Maybe that. I mean, that's one way that I could see them working in the larger aspect of the album rather than just looking at a single song. But like I said, I like them in isolation. I think they're very cool. We have, a lot of really interesting sounds at the beginning. Almost sounds like construction or rubble or things breaking apart, something along those lines. Against those ambient tones, the synth stuff, and then the outro was just an ambient tone, I think, and then a static sound that was slowly decreasing in speed. So it started out with like a really fast warble, and then slowed down until it was like quarter notes. I mean, like I said, they're cool concepts. I don't understand what they do with the rest of the song. Maybe the sounds themselves relate to things that I'm not grasping. Maybe they relate to things in the lyrics. The song is called The Malignant Condition, which of course is about it's probably something about along the lines of a destructive force, and that could tie in with some of the destruction sounds from the beginning. But on a musical level, they feel very segmented and isolated from the primary song, I would say, in the middle, the metal aspect. I don't think they really blend into, or the metal aspect blends into the outro very well. They're very separated ideas. I do like that, sticking with the synth idea, I like the piano concept in that first metal section of the song. The piano came in with a guitar or something. I think it was very subtle, a little lighter, a little cleaner. And even when we ramped up the intensity, we brought in the distorted guitar, we brought in some growls, I think, even at the time. The piano was still doing the run. I thought it was beautiful and a great way to provide some contrast and range because a lot of the metal aspects are very low end, especially when you had the growl in there. And the piano just kind of, it was weird because normally I would say the piano was soaring over it. Its range is higher than a lot of the other instruments here. However, the mix felt like it was buried below everything. So it was a very interesting sound in that way as well. Um, I think that's going to be about it right here. I'm going to be honest. I really didn't listen to the song as intently as I do with other music because I really enjoyed this and was just jamming along. I feel like I'm blanking out on so many sections, so many things that I might have talked about in a if this were a different song, but I was just not listening I was very I was this was a very casual listen for me. This was not a critical one. I was just like, yeah, this is good. No different than if I was just surfing YouTube and I found this and clicked on it. Like, I'm not here to analyze this. I'm just enjoying it. So, apologies to the band if you didn't feel like this was enough of a critical reaction, if you didn't get enough feedback. I suppose I'm happy you can contact me through email if you want less of a first time reaction and more of a, a feedback conversation. Because yeah, I really enjoyed this. All right, those are my thoughts on Terrestria's what is this? The Malignant Condition. In the comment section, let me know if you enjoyed this or not, anything that stood out to you. In the description box, first of all, of course, the Linktree link for me if you're interested in anything related to the channel. I also have a Linktree link for the band if you'd like to check out their music on Apple, Spotify, if you want to check out their Instagram or Twitter, a bunch of stuff. They have a bunch of links in their link tree as well. And of course, I'll be linking the music video link as usual as well. So lots of ways to check out or get in contact with the band. All right, above that, if you could, like, subscribe, ring the bell. I'll be back tomorrow. I won't be back tomorrow. I enjoyed this so much, I forgot what day it is. No videos Saturday or Sunday as usual. I'll be back Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC. At least I think it'll be 9 p.m. UTC. I know my region is entering daylight savings time soon, and I probably should check out what day that is. But it will mean that my videos will be coming out an hour later than they are for people who do not adjust their times, for regions that do not do that. So it will be 10 p.m. EST. No, whatever. I'm tired. You guys have a fantastic day. Do what I can't even do the sign off. I'll see you guys next time.